Adorations to the Supreme Compassionate Baby, who is incomparable in her glory. May you bestow good fortune and goodness in the dwellings of your devotees. May you grant us peace and prosperity. Namaste. Again and again, salutations to the Devi. Your exquisite beauty is like the rays of the moon across the far open sea in the night. May you bring us joy and harmony. Namaste. Adorations to the beautiful divine Devi, who exists as the intellect in all. Oh, Devi, we bow to you again and again. May you bestow upon us eternal freedom.
And now on this Sunday evening, November the 11th, 2018, Pujya Gurudev continues with the lecture series on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is series 2018 lecture number 20. And now our revered Guru, Pujyatman, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji.
Om Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we are commencing the 3rd chapter, known as Karma Yoga. Insight into karma, the role of karma in your life. Arjuna Uvacha Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. Arjuna said, "O Janardana," Lord Krishna is called Janardana. Jana relates to devotees. Ardana is showering divine love. That's a profounder meaning. There is another meaning. Janardana means one who brings a terror to the spirit of terror. So, O Janardana, that's God, Lord Krishna. If you say the intellect illumined by the light of knowledge or the light of wisdom, that intellect is superior to the path of selfless action. Ultimately, it is intellect, sanamati, profound understanding that will lead you to liberation. Then why to engage yourself into all types of works? Why don't you simply bring a little viman and get into the airplane, mystic airplane, and fly away? I'm joking, but that's what Arjuna has. Because what Krishna taught in the 2nd chapter about the characteristics of one who is enlightened, Arjuna became so inspired. He sees before him this battle will take a lot of time and a lot of problems. And Krishna ended up in the previous teachings that one must promote intuitive intellect. That will lead you to liberation. He didn't talk about emphasizing karma. So Arjuna becomes slightly confused. All this is subtle detail, mostly allegorical to understand. When you want to understand the highest truth, your understanding has to filter through many networks of illusions. Each time you understand, oh, yeah, I understood it. Wait. So what can make that understanding free from all these obstructions? That's what subtle point is going to be brought out. So, O Janardana, if you say the intellect illumined by the light of wisdom is superior to the path of selfless action, then why do you lead me, O Keshava? Another word, Keshava, is used for Krishna. In a storyline, Krishna destroyed a terrible demon who came in the form of a wild horse attacking Krishna. It was demon Keshi. And Krishna killed it, sublimated it, allowed the soul of the demon to be released. So it's called Keshava. But there is another meaning. See? There are so many angles of the meanings. Kesha relates to your hair, you see. Krishna's hair is a blend of sun and moon. Put it more simple way, he is Satchidananda. Satchit is sun. Ananda is the moon. So one who is decked by Satchit Ananda type of adornment, crest jewel on his head. Therefore he is called Keshava. But that's coming to the question that Arjuna has asked. If you say the intellect illumined by the light of wisdom is superior to the path of selfless action, then why do you lead me, O Keshava, to the performance of terrible karmas? That type of despair comes in the heart of everyone. No one is exempt. The times when people come to a state of stress, sorrow in life's battle, and then when they start hearing that God alone is the truth, this world is an illusion, nothing exists, nothing belongs to me, then first thing your mind goes after, why have I been led through all this? And all that you remember is the troubles of your life. All the troubles come in like Google, see? Millions of them spread before your eyes. What I'm leading you to understand, your life is not just facing troubles. You have a lot of exciting experiences, a lot of joyous relish in your life. But when mind is not thinking in a correct way, deluded, then you see only the negative in a deluded manner. And then the question rises, why is all this? Let me get away from this world, walk away. Stop doing all karmas. Go into a cave, get initiated into a mantra, and start living a life of nivritti. Only liberation, nothing else. Things are not so simple. This also relates to a verse that has come in the previous chapter. Lord Krishna, while giving insight into Sthita Prajna state, enlightened state, he said, Durena hyavaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam anvichha kripana phalahetava. The path of karma is totally distant from buddhi yoga, the yoga that purifies your buddhi, intellect. And it is by that purification of your intellect you attain liberation. You are not looking for liberation in the realm of karma. You do something, and the fruit of karma becomes liberation. So that concept is far distant. So, liberation and the fruit of karma, these are two distant matters. Buddhav sharanam anvichha. Take refuge in your intellect. What's important in your life is your understanding. Simple. All karmas that you do, whatever they bring will be perishable. What will lead you to liberation and what will endure is your understanding. That type of message is given. Now immediately, mind that is not completely advanced says, oh Lord, therefore stop giving me all the karma instructions. You have yourself said that is the Buddhi that leads to liberation. Then don't involve me with all this terrible battle. Just tell me, what should I do? At this stage, try to first point to understand that the setting of the Gita is allegorical. The duty presented to Arjuna in storyline is that he has to destroy all those people who have lined up against Pandavas. And all those people contain loving personalities, including even Bhishma. They all are near and dear ones. And they all have to be destroyed. And that is the swadharma of Arjuna. Don't take it literally. It simply means that in order to attain enlightenment, you don't hold on to your ego-based relations. The world that you recognize in the terms of me and mine, this whole world is the battlefield. And your duty is to get out of me and mine. Nama. That's what every mantra repeats, Nama. You are not your body. So get out of it. And all relationships are in a ship that doesn't exist. So this is a horrible task. Now, to understand it more in a simple way, karma is of three types. Swadharma. Swadharma is that you are born in such a way that you are involved in a stream of karma that has been coming from the past. Like a river is flowing on, led by your karma. For example, if your karma is to be a musician, you are born in a family where your mummy plays with you on a piano. I'm joking. So, it's also like where in a river, it's flowing. It's already set. called pravaha patit karma. Karma that is flowing like a stream. And if you stay bonded with that type of movement, it is called swadharma, because you do not feel stress about it. Rather, you feel joyous. If you have been a musical taste from your previous life, then everything that you learn, every discipline that is given to you, you feel joyous about it. Nothing is boring. And that point exists in every individual. You have a backing of a pressure of previous karmas. And if you follow through that, it will be spontaneous. But next point, paradharma. If you are not completely in tune with your personality, that's what this natural situation is for the masses, then you are do not enjoy swadharma, or you are not drawn to understanding the importance of swadharma. Somehow you begin to move away from what is easy for you and spontaneous for you. Say, for example, if music is spontaneous for you, but you come to a society that says, oh, no music, mathematics. How much payment can you receive by music? It shows you the data. And how much more you can receive by something else. So when you move away from what has been so easy with your personality, you move away because it is going to give you a lot of money. That movement is moving toward paradharma. Understand, swadharma, revelation of swadharma is in degrees. You do not have complete awareness. What is your swadharma? Your moving towards paradharma is also mixed up in degrees. How much have you moved away, led by the greed of your mind? Greater the greed, greater is your involvement in paradharma. Lesser the greed, you are moving towards your swadharma. The advantage of swadharma is every day is interesting. In swadharma movement, you do not look for a vacation. There is no retirement because they never get tired. Put it in a very different way. Even though you have become retired from your job and you are aged, you have certain talents. Create an atmosphere around you where you can share, where you can see smiling faces around you, where you can do acts of charity, generosity. Swadharma is open, it's kind of a universal aspect. Only what is needed is your mind has to become brought in order. Mind has to become interested in fulfilling the purpose of life. If that is so, sometimes you will find surprised in aging process, when you are losing grip of your body and many things, and yet you can create through your mind powerful influence on yourself, on people around you. I'm trying to give you an insight into Swadharma. Do not get away from what is instinctively spontaneous in your personality. You like to tell stories. Bring your stories that are spiritual type. If you have humorous nature, don't collect humors. Help people to rejoice, but in a positive way. So I'm just giving you some simple ideas. In other words, work, karma is never boring. Without karma, you are living a boring life. Can't imagine. If there is no activity in your life, and you have misunderstood the teaching, so wherever there is a relaxed atmosphere, like satsanga, and the moment the mind says, oh, here everybody is laughing. What type of satsanga is that? Go to satsanga, there's a pin drop silence. Brahman. How wonderful. Figure that out. So I was giving you insight into Swadharma, Paradharma. And that's a blend in every individual. Sometimes one foot goes into your Swadharma, but then you remember there are so many problems with money matters, so another foot goes into Paradharma. And there is a constant balancing goes on. The mantra is a higher level of mantra. Now develop a spiritual strength within yourself. The strength that turns whatever you handle as Swadharma. The mantra behind it, no matter whatever type of duty you have to do, it is an act of God, God's will. Let me perform this duty in the best way possible. So, do not involve yourself in an action from the very beginning with a sense of boredom. Oh God, how cursed am I that I have to do it. But I have to do it. And while you go on doing it, you are constantly cursing yourself. That's japa. The negative in you does sustain austerity and receives a mass boon of being powerful. Try to figure that out. That's nature's law. If you sustain in your mind negativity day by day, that becomes your reality. Likewise, if you sustain positivity, in spite of challenges, if you allow a Godward movement bring into your heart a little breeze, a little sunshine, a little smile, a little inspiration, I'm not talking about perspiration, inspiration. Then any karma that you do becomes your swadharma. You have that ability. So you don't go into a terrible type of analysis. What is swadharma? What is paradharma? How can we separate paradharma from swadharma? Nothing of the sort. Whatever you are doing, allow your mind to turn to God, Godward, and try to do the best you can. And don't become glued to the concept, this is what I want by this karma. Leave the matter of the result of karma, fruit of karma in divine hands. Then you become a karma yogi. So, first point, simplify and see whether you can move away from type of jobs you have adopted by your greed to a type of job that will fulfill your heart. If you can move away, then do that. Can't move away, catch hold of God's foot. And bring a little charanamrit and sprinkle it over whatever job you do. It has a magic, it will turn it into your swadharma. And swadharma done with swadharma now opens up two choices. You can have your expectations. Your expectations can be sattvic expectations. But no matter how sattvic and how great, your expectation cannot be perfect. You must realize human mind doesn't have all that perfection as God has. So therefore, being wiser, cleverer, turn to God and say, your will, not mine. But they are foxy inside. You get more than you imagine. That again we have to. And each time you hear, you shouldn't have expectation of the fruit. And the people touch their heart, it touches, oh, what I have to love God, what? This is the way the world is. Can't expect. But that's, reality is very profound. In other words, you don't have no need to expect. You have no need to have a stress. You are flying in a plane, you don't have to have the stress of how the plane is flying, how long it is moving, what height it is. You don't want to be involved with all that. All that you do, relax. Sharanagati, surrender to God, begins to do wonders. And considering your action, the life involved in action, as a part of your sadhana. Not constantly complaining, I don't have time for sadhana. I would have liked to meditate for 3 hours. But I don't have time. Whatever you are doing is your sadhana. But this is, I'm talking for advanced mind. That doesn't mean that you cannot create some space for your japa, for your meditation, for your satsanga. If you create some space, you will find you have more time in your life than if you don't create those space for little duration of sadhana in a special way. You can experiment it. Live a harmonized style of life. Time to wake up, time to do certain mantras, time to walk, time to allow your mind to relax, time to sing, time to little dance also. Along with it, now the job that you will handle, it will be much more effective. You will not be postponing your job. You will be handling it with the formula DIN, which means do it now. काल करे सो आज कर, आज करे सो अब, पल में प्रलय होएगी, बहुरी करोगे कब? Understood it? What you have to do tomorrow is Kabira's songs, very powerful song. What you have to do tomorrow, do it today. And what you have to do today, do it now. काल करे सो आज करे सो अब, now. पल में प्रलय होएगी. You ask why? Within a moment, this whole world can slip away from you. So if you do not take advantage of your opportunity of doing your work, the opportunity will slip. Bahuri karoge kab? Your life becomes without fulfillment of purpose. So, and it has many benefits. Doing your things in a right way, it's healthy for your nervous system, healthy for your brain, healthy for your body. Good thoughts, good feelings, good and cozy life. And delightful for the world. Spiritual teaching is for a healthy life, an ideal type of life. So as I was explaining to you, Swadharma, Paradharma, and there is another type of karma that's called Dushkarma. Dushkarma is completely unrighteous, based on violence, cruelty of the heart. It's demoniac. If one does not pursue karma in a right way, then the mind becomes so pressured. When the negative in you has done a lot of austerity and has become very powerful, then you live to create negativity. That happens even in most cultured families. Sometimes people begin to play the role of hurting others without their understanding of themselves, what they are doing. Until they later understand if their God is gracious and they understand their error, they regret over it and God forgives them all. But there are people who will do not. They become terroristic. They become the curse for society. And I will not detail you because the news is already full of all that. the Dushkarma, led by violence, led by terrible ego, terrible greed. That's demoniac. And that karma brings hellish conditions. All the negative in you predominate your personality. So everywhere you look, the demons. Coming to the point, perform your swadharma. Swadharma I have defined. Whatever job has come, be in harmony with it, have a broad understanding, view it as a form of worship of God, and always try to develop a greater capacity of performing action, more qualitative, more effective. And do not put a limit. How long am I going to go on doing? Nothing. Just like you do not put a limit, how long can I go on eating it, eating food. And no matter how long it takes, every day someone gives you an insight, a little spice makes the things better. The eyes perk up, what type of spice? So your karmic process should give the same type of flair. No matter how long, whatever stage of your life. Such karma, this type of involvement, if karma is moving towards karma yoga, it removes mala, vikshepa and avarana in different degrees. Mala is gross impurity that expresses through persons anger, hate, greed, perverted desires, called vikaras. So if you are doing your karma yoga in a proper way, it will remove malas. Malas will become gradually sublimated. The quality you are gaining is nirvikarita, the quality of being free of impurities. Next quality you gain is called Nishkamata, a heart that is not going after objects of the world. If you go after it, your heart will be broken again and again. दिल के टुकड़े हजार हुए, कुछ इधर गिरे, कुछ उधर गिरे. If you don't get to deep spiritual movement, you live a life of building up a great relationship, so many near and dear ones. But then you kick the bucket, all your near and dear ones, where are they? Now you have another set of near and dear ones. Ek dil ke tukde, one piece of your heart went in one life, another piece goes into another life. And your love is so scattered you don't know where it is. That's the predicament of human effort to fulfill their love. Simple solution. Love, understand, love God in all. Whatever you love is wonderful, but what makes you love is God in every personality. Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani. That type of love has to develop, and it doesn't develop in one step, but as you go into sadhana, then automatically your heart begins to operate in a profounder way. So you do not have to, your love is not, doesn't calculate. If someone is in suffering before you, you are in a plane and you see someone suffer, you don't calculate, is he from my country? Is he my friend? Your heart melts. I'm leading to understand because the universal, sarve bhavantu sukhina, may all be happy. That type of heart begins to develop. And behind that, God is the source of inspiration for your heart. Coming back to those points, nirvikarita, removing malas, nishkamata, removing worldly desires, turning your desires into aspiration for God realization, and samatva buddhi, intellect that is not going after perishable attainments of the world. Intellect that is becoming intuitive for revelation of God. Samatva, intellect that is focused on attaining enlightenment. That focus makes your intellect steady, because God is not, every object moves around, but God doesn't move around. So if you focus your God in a proper way, then that focus cannot be shaken. I'm saying that, but these are the ideals to reach. Nirvikarita, nishkamata, samatva buddhi. Look from another angle, those people who are studying Kundalini Yoga, 3 centers are very important in spiritual movement: navel center, heart center, and Agnya Chakra. Navel center, when Kundalini passes through, the mala begins to move away, gross impurities, to become nirvikarata. As Kundalini begins to pass through your heart center, then Nishkamata. The desiring world becomes purified. Your desire is not for objects of the world. It becomes transmuted into aspiration for love of God. And when Kundalini passes through your Agnya Chakra, you are not involved with intellectual understanding. There are countless things, but intuitive. Samatva buddhi, all are in reality sustained by the divine self. Look at a cinema show, all that you are seeing, so many things. The reality is the screen. Just be careful of the screen, don't worry about all those. All this becomes possible by following the path of karma. And that concept of running away from karma, that will put you in big trouble. You will not succeed. You may think you are running away from karma, but you are going into more karma than you can handle. I was given an illustration. a person is riding a horse. When the horse is running with joy, handling the horse is very easy. But when someone tells him, don't rush, rest, keep the horse and rest yourself. Now when he obeys that order, and then he is resting, apparently, but constantly he is controlling the horse. And actually he is putting more effort without any inspiration. This allegorical way of saying, when you stop every work and turn away now, today I'm going to give all in meditation. First you decide you will be always in one pose. But soon you will change your mind and say, it doesn't matter. Give my pose, my any pose. So you are working hard to handle your mind without not involved in any work. And you are far from real spirituality. So what are you highlighting? Highlighting the negative state unwittingly. So instead of going into a positive direction, you end up creating more negative in your personality. That's where you see sometimes in the scriptures, like a yogi that has done 20 years of austerity. And one day he finds that he can levitate. And he's so surprised and so happy about his levitation. But he looks around, nobody has seen it. He should go viral. So comes to a river where people are traveling in boats, going from one bank to the other. And there he begins to walk in front of them on the water. People become so amazed. Yes, he walked. But one wise man tells him, how long did it take you to have this great power? Because he realized this man is showing his power. He said, 20 years of extreme austerity. He said this with a head very high and looking down like a frog. And the man, wise man, brings a penny from his pocket. He says, you're 20 years and look, this penny will make me go across this river on a nice boat. You can figure that out. Vyamishreva vakyena buddhim mohyasiva me tadekam vada nishchitya yena shreyoham apnuyam. By your apparently conflicting statements, you are confusing my intellect. Therefore, please tell me definitely which path will lead me to the highest good. That was Arjuna. All that I have already brought to you. Why confusion starts in human mind. And what seems like a simple solution Since karma leads you to bondage, stop karma. How? Go into a cave. Go to your room. Close the door. No karma. What you don't understand, now you are inviting more karmas, and you are doing more karmas than you could have if you had just went on with your life's flow. So therefore, a deep insight into what will lead you to be free of karma, that has to develop. It is by doing karmas in the spirit of karma yoga that you can ascend to that state where all externality, all external involvement will be transcended. In other words, your karma, when you develop an internal movement towards nirvikarita, malas move away, your desires become sublimated, and the veiling of illusion begin to cut down. That internal movement, internal again is allegorical. Think of that type of experience. And that movement is called sannyasa. If you simply take sannyasa by ritual, without having insight into how to reach that state, then you are just fooling yourself. So therefore, if you are in a proper way, you are directed. If you are ready, again, firstly, don't make rush in making a decision of should I be normal grihastha or whatever, or should I take sannyasa? Don't make the rush judgment. Second point, continue to allow your karma to turn into karma yoga. Allow your karma to flow in such a way that it purifies your heart. It removes your mala. It allows your feeling to expand, become purified, and allows your illusions that grip your intellect move away gradually. All that happens through doing your duty, living your life in a healthy manner. And you are thereby moving towards sannyasa in a profound way. If you come to another stage, to be recognized and to declare, to have that type of affirmation, I am a sannyasi, perfectly in order if you have followed that. And even as a sannyasi, your karmic process now does not stop. You must realize Shankaracharya, who is the greatest sannyasi you could ever imagine, who constantly reminds everybody the whole universe is nothing but a snake. Brahman is a rope. All is illusion. But what people don't see in Shankaracharya, that he is more active than anybody in the world. In every lecture he is negating all karmas. But he is constantly planning to go from this place to that place and spread the jnana yajna more and more. In other words, do not develop that illusion that being a sannyasi means You have nothing to do. Being a sannyasi, you will be doing more qualitative service to humanity than before. So you have no escape. You don't need to have escape. That is a greater joyous experience awaits. But you don't have to rush about it. Continue with your karma yoga no matter. And you can, without even taking the vow of sannyasa, attain sannyasa and be liberated. The vow of sannyasa is another ritual. To some it is helpful, to some it is hurtful. And with this I will stop. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.